I noticed the pie before anyone said anything. The crust had that dull shine it gets when it's cooled just enough to be handled without ceremony. The knife lay beside it, already sticky. Plates were set out like an invitation to behave correctly. My son was still finishing his chicken. He chews slowly when he's nervous, like he's trying to buy himself time. My sister's kids were already bouncing in their chairs, forks clinking. My father cleared his throat. "No pie for your son," he said. Not to me exactly, but to the table. "Bad attitude today." It wasn't loud. It wasn't angry. It was administrative. My son didn't look up. He stared at the grain in the table, tracing it with one finger. I watched that instead of my father's face. I've learned where to place my eyes when the rules change without warning. My sister laughed lightly, the way people do when they want to be on the right side of something. "He'll learn," she said, already cutting a slice for her oldest. The kids licked their plates clean, cherry smears on chins, sugar on knuckles. Someone asked for seconds. My father nodded approval like a judge who'd seen enough. It surprised even me how easy it felt. I took my girl's hand under the table. She squeezed once, a question and an answer in the same motion. We stood, chairs scraped. No one stopped us. No one asked why. That's the trick. If you leave calmly, people assume you'll be back. The drive home was quiet. My son asked if he'd done something wrong. I told him no. I told him sometimes adults confuse obedience with character. He nodded like he understood, or like he wanted me to stop talking. Either way was fine. At home, we put him to bed early. He fell asleep faster than usual. My girl washed the dishes we hadn't used. I sat on the couch with my phone face down, listening to the house settle. The message came at 9:10 p.m. "Mortgage due tomorrow. Don't be late." No greeting, no punctuation worth noticing. Just a reminder dressed as a command. I didn't feel angry. That was the strangest part. The heat that usually rises, tight jaw, quick breath, never came. What I felt was a familiar alignment, like something clicking into place after being off by a fraction for years. I thought about the pie again, the way rules appeared only when they benefited him, the way money had always been the last word in our family, the punctuation at the end of every sentence. I didn't answer right away. I set the phone down and made tea. I stood at the sink and watched steam blur the window. I remembered being 17, holding an envelope with my name spelled wrong, being told to be grateful anyway. I remembered being 32, signing papers at his kitchen table while he explained interest like it was weather. When I picked up the phone, my hand was steady. "I won't be there tomorrow," I typed, then erased it. Too soft, too open. I tried again. "You won't need me for the mortgage." That felt closer to the truth, but still incomplete. I added one more line. "The refinance closed this afternoon. The bank will be dealing directly with the trustee from now on." I read it twice. There was nothing sharp in it. No accusation, just a fact. A door quietly closed. I sent it. The typing bubbles appeared immediately, then stopped, then appeared again. Nothing came through. I imagined him standing in his kitchen, the same one where the pie had sat, the same counter where he tapped his pen when I hesitated over signatures. I imagined the pause, the mental inventory, the recalculation. He would understand what a trustee meant. He would understand what it meant to not be central anymore. My phone rang. I let it ring once more than necessary, not out of spite, but to confirm for myself that I could. "What is this?" he said when I answered. No hello. The old script. "It's done," I said. "The paperwork's filed. You signed the authorization last month." "That was for—" He stopped himself. I could hear the shift the moment he realized correction wouldn't help. "You should have told me." "I did," I said. "In writing." Silence. Not the sulking kind, the practical kind. The kind that happens when someone sees the edge of their leverage crumble. "So you're just not coming anymore?" he asked. "I'm not managing it anymore," I said. "And I'm not bringing my son into rooms where he's punished publicly to make a point." He exhaled sharp. "You're being dramatic." "Maybe," I said, "but the arrangement is over." Another silence. Longer this time. "Your mother would have—" "I know," I said, and meant something different than he thought. The call ended without a goodbye. That was fine too. I didn't sleep much that night, but it wasn't restlessness. It was adjustment, like learning a new posture after years of hunching. The next week passed without messages. Then one arrived, clipped and careful, asking about a document he couldn't find. I forwarded it to the trustee. Another message followed asking if we were coming by Sunday. I said we had plans. We did in a way. On Sunday afternoon, my son helped me bake a pie. He dumped too much sugar in and we laughed. The crust cracked when we pulled it out, imperfect and warm. We ate it standing at the counter. He licked his plate clean and asked for another slice. I gave it to him. There was no triumph in it, no swelling music, just a quiet sense of alignment again. I know this doesn't fix everything. My father will always believe money explains behavior. My sister will always find comfort where approval is easiest. I will still feel that old tug sometimes, the reflex to smooth things over, to pay early, to arrive with proof of worth. But now there's a line I didn't draw in anger. I drew it in ink with witnesses, and it holds.